It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley. All right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
Yeah. Dr. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and of course, my beautiful bride, the executive producer, the co-host, my everything. Merry Christmas.
It ain't Christmas yet. Oh my gosh. But we're in a Christmas.
It's just the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
The holidays that we are in. You know, the 12 days of Christmas, all that other stuff. I mean, the holidays have started. And I just want to say, hey, I hope everybody has already went out and did all the Christmas shopping. And they're ready. They got the Christmas tree up and presents under there. But I want to be the first to tell you I ain't did no Christmas shopping. So I'm sorry.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You did. You did. I know you did. I just don't know what you got, but I know you did.
I have not done any shopping at all. But that's okay. I'm excited about this show today because we're going to take a couple of chapters from my book, The Book of Knowledge, Your Pathway to Enlightenment. And, you know, I don't think we talked about that particular book on this show before. What are your thoughts?
We did. We did about a couple of weeks ago. We took one of the topics and discussed it. But the book itself, we have not really spoken about it and the things you put in it. So, when we do the show together, we're going to focus on certain chapters of that book. But I love that one of the chapters today, it is so true in everything you do in life. And it
is. Don't give it away yet. You got to introduce the guests. You don't.
We're the guests. We're the guests.
Okay, I want to be introduced.
James and Michelle, we're the guests.
Okay, can you tell the audience about the guests? Who is the guest?
The host and the co-host and executive producer of the show.
You know what? I always like having these discussions, because that's all that they are discussions. And as a writer, I get to myself, write the stuff down, and just put it to paper, get it published if I can. But this is one of the topics that is near and dear to me. So, Michelle, can you do the honors by, first of all, telling our viewers and our listeners the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely famous, fantastic, wonderful guest that you are.
Okay. Well, we're on over 85 live streaming platforms, including YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, E360 TV, Roku, whatever platform you on. Please join us and, write in your comments, provide your questions. We are here to answer them. So I picked this topic. We actually did. We agreed on this topic. It's called The Worst Lie You Can Tell Is One to Yourself. You know when you're lying to yourself. You just know. You know what is the truth. Even if the person doesn't know it's a lie, you do. And everything you do, you say, you don't do, you don't say, you know why. You know why. Like, okay, well, first of all, let's talk about self-deception delays growth. It distorts your decisions. It erodes self-trust. Honesty with yourself is freedom. You ever heard the expression, James, you ever heard this expression where someone asks you to do something, right? It could be simple. You can have nothing to do. I'm just waiting for James to come back on. You can have nothing to do, but I want to make a point. I'm just waiting for Dr. Cooley to come back on. Hello.
He's back.
Okay. So you ever someone asks you to do something, it's not going to require a lot of your time or whatever, but you say no and they ask you why? And honesty with yourself, it's just as a simple example, is because you just don't feel like it. And that is being honest with yourself. You really don't. Why don't you feel like it? Because maybe you just want to sit around and rest all day, or maybe you just don't feel like doing anything. That's just a small example. We're going to give some bigger ones. So one of the things I think it's important we talk about is, why does the phrase lying to yourself, what does it mean to you personally? And I'll tell you what it means to me. Lying to yourself is, and you know it, you feel in your gut when you actually do something. Lying to others and lying to yourself, two separate things. If you lie to yourself and you know you, you might not know me, the other person may not know, but you know why you do and you don't do the things that you whatever it is. And lying to yourself personally means to me is really not accepting who you are. That's what it means to me. Lying to yourself is like saying, well, I'm a subject matter expert in this. I'm just throwing something out there, but you're not. But you want to put on the pretense that you are to, impress other people. So why are you lying not only to them but to yourself? Just be honest. It is a sense of freedom. It really is. Even if it's exposing something that you may need to work on, a character flaw, and that's okay. We're not perfect, but just be honest about it. I'll give you a quick example.
Hey, Michelle,
Yes.
I
Wait
heard
a
her.
minute. Wait a minute. That's what lying to myself means to me personally. What does lying to yourself mean personally? And then we'll just go on.
I have not heard you talk this much on the show ever.
Yes, I have.
Where you took up the whole monologue, without even asking the question.
That is the
Yeah.
question.
So I tell you, I wrote "Be Honest with Yourself" in the book of knowledge, Your Pathway to Enlightenment. And basically, um, when I was writing it down, it came to my mind that a lot of things that I had experienced in my life and others experienced in theirs, where they lie to themselves. They, I mean, they start believing a lie to themselves because it's what we call the imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. They want others to think that they are big, they this, they that, and all that, and they ain't did nothing, but they lying to themselves, and they plant that lie into their mind and their heart, and that's who they think they are. They see me as this, so I got to continue to be this way. I have to continue. You know, I I guess we all at some point or another have done that. I can surely say that I did it. I know I did it. But when you start lying to yourself, there is no truth to anything you say, and it's not going to take but a second or so before people to figure that out. I can talk to a person for 5 minutes or maybe two and figure out what's going to be true or what's not going to be true because we all have been there. I've been there. And so, uh, what does the lying to yourself mean to me? It means that I'm not who I am. I'm not who I say I am. I I'm none of those things. And not saying that you have to brag. If you're doing great things, if you're doing bad things, people are gonna know who you are just by look, listen, and learn who you are. So uh, when you lie to yourself, personally mean to me is you're phony,
That's
no
true.
integrity. I mean, none whatsoever, untrustworthy, in pretty much everything that you do. You're not a leader. You're a faker. So that's what it means to me, Michelle.
Well, yes, and I know in about 2 minutes we're going to head to break. But the thing is that one of the points is like, why is it that people find it easier to deceive themselves than being confronted with uncomfortable truths about themselves? Me, sometimes uncomfortable truths is hard. It depends on why. You got to look at why you lie to yourself. Why do you lie to yourself about certain things? It could be a trauma. Seriously, it could be a past trauma. It could be something that you're not ready to confront. So you lie to yourself about certain things. And I know you mentioned imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome to me means insecurity, not loving yourself for who you truly are. And that can come from some sort of trauma, or, whether people or family, friends have told you, or that maybe they didn't uplift you. And even if they did, maybe you never felt it. I don't know. It could be so many different reasons. But I do believe there's always a reason why a person is not honest with themselves.
Hey,
And
why don't you hold that thought? We got to take a station break. I tell you, whichever platforms you're watching us on, whether it's E367, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, uh, and over 85 other platforms. Welcome to the show. If you want to be part of this discussion that we're having, all you have to do, whichever platform that you're watching us on, go to the comments, ask any question that you might have, and I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Looking to advance your education or career while staying true to your Christian faith? At Viridian Christian University, we make higher education affordable, flexible, and accessible wherever you are, cultivating a vibrant learning community where faith and knowledge converge, preparing graduates to fulfill their life's purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, doctorate, or honorary degree, Viridian's 100% online programs can fit your lifestyle. Study on your schedule from your home, office, or anywhere without compromising quality or values. With affordable tuition and programs in Christian leadership, business, and theology, Viridian will equip you to lead with purpose in a changing world. Go to ViridianChristianUniversity.com and see how you can join our global fellowship of faith-driven leaders, online and affordable. To learn more and apply, visit ViridianChristianUniversity.com. Viridian Christian University, a unique and dynamic environment for success, empowering leaders of faith.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and today what we're talking about is lying to yourself and believing the lies that you believe that you're lying and stuff. And one of the most important things I always mention, Michelle, is you can get in front of a mirror and you can just start talking to yourself in that mirror. What you see in the mirror when you're an imposter, you don't see in your mind. You want to be something that you're not. You want to be something that you do not put the work in, or that God did not call you to be. And you want others to think that you are this or you are that. I can tell you that, and you know me better than anybody on earth. I'm straight up. What you see is what you get. I mean, it's just I ain't gonna fake nothing. I ain't gonna do none of that stuff. I'm not going to lie. Maybe sometime a little tiny one every now and then. But not doing none of those things. I have learned just be you, regardless of what that is. Regardless of whether you picking up trash or whatever your employment, whatever that is, that's your purpose that God had given you for that time And that's why I showed my commercial about time is precious, because I think that we have to develop uh, in ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to understand that the reflection that's coming back to you, that when you're looking in the mirror, that's who you are. You have to know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself before you share yourself. Hey, Michelle, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree with what you just said. Um, and there's so many common lies people tell themselves. And like I said, I think it's like I mentioned before the break, it could be maybe not facing your past, not facing the truth, not facing certain traumas. There's always a reason why people, whether they lie to others and they lie to themselves, it's hard to accept um, things that you're not ready to confront about yourself. So you cover them up with lies, and you be in the practice of self-deception. So there are a lot of people who are dealing with that, and we got to give them grace and mercy, and not judge them. However, there comes a time it's like, okay, you can't go on like this, pretending to be something that you're not. It's it's like me, I'm a city girl. It's, going out in the garden and planting seeds and vegetables and fruit. It's not my thing. It really isn't. And for me to exaggerate that I love doing something like that, no, I don't. I don't. I rather just be outside and, hang out, go to the city or something like that. But that's just a, exaggerated thing. But no, I don't like to plant and go to the garden. What I'm saying is that self-deception short term may work for you, but long term it's not, because what's going to happen, what might happen, is that you lose who you really are. You lose yourself. You've been pretending so long to be something that you're not, an imposter syndrome, that you might start believing these lies or keeping up with these lies. And when you lie, you have to keep up the lie. You do.
Well, hold on. Read what soon to be Dr. Gupta,
Okay.
AJ Gupta, is saying.
He says, because people haven't accepted their truths and reality, but when you accept who God created you to be, you can walk in your true identity. And that is so true. Everyone is unique. And me pretending to be you or somebody else is not the way you were meant to be. You were made to be unique, your own person. You can admire somebody. You can. There's nothing wrong with admiring someone, like, wow, they did a good job. That's a smart brother. That's a smart sister. There's nothing wrong with admiring, giving people their props, but don't try to be who they are. Don't try to become them. Don't try to take on their persona or personality. Not because when you deceive yourself, when you're trying to be something that you're not, it doesn't even feel right. It doesn't even feel natural. It feels forced. And that's
It's let me cut it.
Mhm.
When you try to be somebody that you're not, and you're right, it's great to. I admire so many people. I give them the props, the credit, all that, but I'm not going to try to be like them. Meaning that there might be qualities that they have that I want to adapt some of the things that I can with me, that's going to make me a better person, going to make me a better Christian, going to make me a better whatever that is. And so remember the story, Michelle, when I gave this lecture about having two bags on the side. You have one bag on the right, one bag on the left, the good bag and the bad bag. Well, you run across people that are doing crazy stuff and stuff like that, but yet you pull some of those things, you put it in your left side of the bag. And you do that throughout life. You run across people that are doing great things. They said things that inspire you. You grab some of those things as you grow. You develop in who you are as a person, as or whatever that is. But you don't try to be like that person because you have to formulate your own. I had to formulate James Cooley. James, I had to formulate who I am, not who I want to be like or who I'm going to pretend to be like. I think when people start saying, I'm going to be just like that, ain't nothing wrong with admiring. Admiring, wow, they got some great qualities. I hope that I can have those type of qualities. You understand what I'm saying? One day and develop those things. Imposter, you stick out like a sore thumb. You walk in the room, you can do all whatever that is, right? You're gonna stick out. If you're doing great things, or if your personality, your character, whatever, you're gonna stick out as well. People, they gonna know who you are, and they're gonna know you for who you are. What are your thoughts on that?
That's
And
true.
Dr. Gupta, what are your thoughts on that as well? I want to hear your thoughts.
Dr. Gupton Jr. Yes, yeah, you will see him.
Actually, send AJ the link. The
Yeah,
thing.
I will do that. So you definitely, or you can send it. I'm gonna express myself. So
I,
yeah, you can definitely stick out like a sore thumb. And it's kind of sad where you come to end of your life and you weren't truly the person you created to be. And there was a point that I wanted to make. It's about just loving you, flaws and all. I mean, we're not perfect. We're not. We are far from it. If you want to better yourself or be better in certain things, that's fine. You work on yourself, but don't try to imitate somebody. Don't try to imitate a person that isn't you. Just be you. Um, and don't apologize for it. I mean, be respectful, be kind, be compassionate, have grace, have mercy, be a good person. But your personality is who you are and who God created you to be. And by pretending to be somebody else, we have a friend who actually who does that, and it's really sad, but I won't go into that. But pretending to be somebody else it's really, really sad to me. Is it sad to you, James?
um, I don't want to talk about that on there, but
Mhm.
yes, and they probably never going to learn because they don't want to. And this is so disturbing when somebody go around telling everybody you, and then you run across the people that told them that they were you, and they asked you to pretend. I was like, what the? And this is crazy, but it happens. It comes around. So my best advice to everybody out there is just be who you are. Understand your purpose. You don't have to pretend. Um, People would trust, respect you better for who you are, whether you have or have not.
Mhm.
Say that one more time. Whether you have or have not. Long as you are you. Uh, just like I tell you, the last couple of days, and man, Pastor AJ, and I at the gym, we have met incredible people uh, in the saunas, thing. I mean, all that good stuff, just in the gym. Incredible people just by being who we are and what he is doing, just by being him. And people are willing once they understand who you are. I'm talking about far as I ain't talking about famous TV and all that stuff, but who you are as a person. They lend their hand. They reach out. They want to help. They want to do things. They want to whatever. you are trying to do, if you are genuine and honest with that, they want to show love to you. You know, so what are your thoughts? We got 1 minute left before we take a break. Michelle.
No, I agree with everything you're saying. And, we just want, lying to yourself is basically, I compare it to you're in a body, you're in your own body, but you're just existing because you're existing as somebody else, not who you truly are.
So we're going to take a station break. If you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just whichever platform that you're watching us on, just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. Know yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself before you share yourself. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do. If you can see it here, you can do it. You might not be able to see it with the physical eyes, but if you can see it here, you can do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. You all are the future leaders of tomorrow. I am a leader. I am a senior. I will be one of the leaders of this world. So, if you know yourself, and if you love yourself, you got the confidence, you can share yourself, you can be who you are. It doesn't matter if you short, tall, fat, big, whatever, black, white, pink, gold, purple. It doesn't matter. You step up with confidence. You are a masterpiece. You are leaders.
Are y'all ready? It's about that time for the It's Your Life Show. Dr. James JC Cooley. That's right. It's your life. Cooley. Hey, it's your life with Dr. James JC Cooley. That's right. It's Dr. James JC Cooley. It's your life show. Dr. James JC Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and wow, I mean, I just enjoying this conversation that Michelle and I are having because it's true. It's true. And again, this comes from one of the topics that I have in my book called The Book of Knowledge, Your Pathway to Enlightenment. And I wish I don't have it in front of me. I would read the exact quote. that we're talking about. But it's first of all, in order to be honest with others, you have to be honest with yourself. That's why I showed the long video about know yourself, love yourself, know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself before you share yourself. That's so important that you accept who you are, regardless of what anybody else thinks. I can tell you, I'm gonna say this, but sometimes I'm talking to somebody, whatever Michelle is around, whoever that is, and I tell them something. I forgot what it was. I was joking last week when I cooked dinner, when we was in California about the apple pie.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, and the person that was eating the French apple pie, like, wow, this is the greatest pie I ever had. Man, this is good. I said, man, I put a whole lot of work in that pie. I put a whole lot of work in creating that pie. And Michelle looked at me and gave me the look. Anybody that married or got a partner, they give you that look. And you don't think they're gonna say anything. She gave me the look and said, James. I said, yeah, man. James. Yeah. James did not make that pie. But
No.
I did make the pie because I spread all this stuff
Oh
out
my gosh.
and I put it in the oven. And so
Wow.
my point is this: she won't let me even tell the little. I wasn't lying. I did make the pie. I spread everything, got the top, all that over there.
You know what he meant.
I did not make the fillings and all that stuff that went in there. So she would tell on you. If you got a great spouse, if you got a great wife or husband, they're gonna keep you honest, even in front of people. So I'm afraid to even try to lie around somebody when Michelle is there. She gonna tell
No,
them.
that was actually a light story and everything like
That wasn't a lie because you already know.
that. Okay.
That was a great pie. You fell in love with the pie. We've been eating the pies, that type of pie.
Well, let's get back on the topic away from the pie.
My point is this: be true to yourself, and also be true to your partner. You want a partner. You want somebody to keep you honest in everything you do, even if it hurts.
Yes.
Even if it hurts. Michelle, she knows she can't ask me something. She asked me, James, should I do this? Should I do that? What do you think about that? Don't ask me nothing like that. Anybody you ask me something like that? And if you want my honest opinion, I'm gonna tell.
But self-awareness, basically the question is, how can self-awareness help break cycles of self-deception? I believe, and we're talking about really serious, with imposter syndrome or just really lying to yourself. And, sometimes it takes a person to really call you out on your nonsense. It really does. And I'm not talking about the pie incident because that was all in fun. I'm talking about stuff that it's like, wow, you are really, either you are in la la land or you really believe what you're saying. You are deceiving yourself. People don't like being confronted with the truth. And like I said, there's always a story behind it. Like I said, it could be trauma, whatever. There's always a story why they can't be honest with themselves. And maybe they're not ready to hear the story and have someone confront them. So I believe that sometimes it takes that person in a respectful way, someone who really cares about you and wants the best for you and sees what a great person you are, to call you out on your nonsense. It really is, with love. With love.
You mentioned something.
Yes.
That I think is so important. You mentioned self-awareness. I believe that we teach ourselves when we are aware of what we are doing, self-awareness. where you're so used to doing certain things the wrong way or whatever that is, and then somebody call you out and say, "Hey, come on now, brother, come on now, sister, what? Come on now, yeah, that's you need to be real about certain things. You need to." And so I believe that self awareness, once you accept who you are, you know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself before you say you accept who you are. Then when you start doing those things, self awareness should click in where it's a teaching moment from self to self. So self awareness is probably the most important thing to one's betterment. And Michelle, you know how I am. Self awareness. I'm always trying to be a better person. I'm always uh, in the giving mood. What we're not going to give away everything, but we are aware of things that others might need, and we have to become self aware that this cannot be just be a selfish thing. It cannot just be a selfish thing. Sometimes, like today, you already know what we did today. Um, Sometimes you just have to sit back and self awareness. You don't want to do it, certain things, but love and compassion for others and being self aware. Uh, yeah, there's certain things that God planned on our heart that we have to do, and but we have to be aware of what we are doing from a self perspective. What are your thoughts on that?
No, exactly. I mean, sometimes, like, I'll give an example. If someone's asking you for like a favor, generally, and you don't want to do it, but you're right, God has placed it on your heart, and you're honest with yourself and say, okay, why don't you want to do it? And I know me and you had a conversation earlier about just basically a third party, and we express our feelings. We were honest with each other, and as well as ourselves. Now, I do believe you cannot, and this is just my thoughts, you cannot apologize for how you feel about certain things. That's you not deceiving yourself. If someone asks you, "Oh, are you okay doing this?" "Oh, I'm fine with it." But you know you're not. You know you're not. Or if you don't want to do something and you I think one part about self-awareness and being honest with yourself is not to judge somebody if they feel a certain way. It can sound like if I wanted to do something, if someone asks us to do something, you say yes or I say no, and I say, well, I'm just, whatever. You may feel that, okay, that's harsh, but I'm being honest. This is how I feel. But then we'll make a decision. But at least I'm being honest with myself instead of saying, okay, whatever you feel is right, or whatever you're doing, la 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 la, whatever you're doing. And then you become the terminology, a Stepford person. And that is an imposter syndrome too, because you're being everything that you think. I'm not talking about marriage or relationships, just about people in general. You're being everything that you believe that other person wants you to be or what to say, but you're lying to yourself because that's not how you feel. That's not you. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. When we have to take a station break, we're gonna have to. We got so much more that we want to talk about, and I've been trying to get Michelle to do a weekly show, just me and her, just one day, to talk about these things, and also get input from our viewers and our listeners on some of the things that they would like for us to talk about. But I tell you, we're gonna take a station break, and if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you got to do is just go to the platform, which on one of the 84, 85 platforms that you are checking us out on, asking the question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
This was happened to the freshmen and the sophomores. You guys are going to grow up and be the seniors. You guys are going to run this school. So, this is the Warriors, right? This is the Warriors, right? The Warriors! If you tell yourself you're going to do something, you got to do it. So you commit, and that last, create, collaborate, commit with what? Commit with what? We commit with confidence. Confidence is you know that you can do it regardless of what anybody tells you that you cannot do. You know deep inside you can do anything you set your mind to. So the 4 C's is create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Everybody say it with me. Create, collaborate, commit with what? Thank you, thank you. Let's go ahead and receive another round of applause.
Hi, I'm Dr. Michelle Cooley. Heart disease research saves lives. It's that simple. Thanks to medical advancements funded by the American Heart Association, more women are surviving heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular diseases than ever before. But there's still so much work to do.
Hi, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I'm raising funds to support life-saving research because every heartbeat is worth fighting for. In honor of Women's History Month, please join me in support of the American Heart Association and women's health.
One, two. It's your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah. All right. Your life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. All right. Everybody, are y'all ready? Dr. J.C. Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. J.C. Cooley. Yeah.
Oh, we back on the. They kind of called me, baby. I was just enjoying the commercials. So, I tell you what, we're talking about lying to yourself. And one of the things that I want to talk about in this last segment is, and I'll bring that up in a minute, is honesty, integrity, and ethics. But before we get to that, I know that my kingdom over in Ghana is watching the king and everybody. So I am looking forward to being back in the kingdom and also being one of the sub-kings sitting on the throne. My kingdom is called the Agona, Sir Kwasara Kingdom in central Ghana. When we go back in February, a couple of things going to happen. Michelle will be crowned queen. It will be televised, and I will receive the blessing from the paramount king and also my sword as a full-fledged king for life. So, wow, it's exciting. And but what's more exciting is not just that, but what we're talking about today is being honest and straight up and not pretending like you're somebody that you're not, because God, whatever the plans are for you and the purpose, um, you have to accept it. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to talk about this topic that we're getting ready to talk about for the last 7 minutes of the show, called honesty, integrity, and ethics. Um, Before we get started, Michelle, I want to know what your thoughts. You already I heard many of my speeches of my presentation. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? And what does HIE mean to you personally? Honesty, integrity, and ethics.
It's really a part about being honest with yourself. Honest, it's character. It's part of your character and how you should live. If you're not living that way, then do what you need to do in order to become an honest person with integrity and with ethics. And some people, sometimes it's difficult for some people. It could be based on upbringing or experiences in life, but it's an important character trait to have. So that's what I'm thinking.
Um, when I wrote that chapter and a couple of my books, honesty, integrity, and ethics, meaning just exactly what you just said. I mean, I was born in, well, a very difficult situation where we didn't have anything. I mean, I'm talking about nothing. I'm talking about you. You said nothing. I mean, nothing. 10 kids. My mom had 10 kids by 6 different fathers, and she was never married. And she raised those kids and by herself, pretty much. But God has a way of planting the honesty, integrity, and ethics. You already know when you don't have nothing to to me, I mean, I got a lot because this is what upbringing, this is what I was born in. But when you're sent away and you go from not having this to not even having that indoor plumbing or water or none of that stuff. And then now it creates this thing where as a 6 or 7 year old, eight, whatever, however you are, you got responsibilities that you have to gather water, you have to do this, you have to do that. And so you have to be honest with yourself every day that I got to get this. Otherwise, I ain't doing my portion of the family. I'm talking about helping. I'm talking about, and this is that's another book of mine we'll talk about later. But you develop those characters where you're honest. Because if you're not honest, you're gonna get your butt whipped. I'm talking about real whip. Paddle, go out, get your own tree, come back and whoop your butt. Michelle, you ain't never experienced nothing like that. Where, but you develop those to being honest to yourself that you have to do this and you can't be lying to them. Integrity is knowing that you got to do this. You have to do the right thing when nobody is there, when nobody's over your shoulder looking at you. You have to be honest, and you have to have integrity. That no, I'm not going to steal that pizza. Or I'm not going to get that off that. I'm not going to do these things because I'm be honest. Ethics mean there are values. There are certain things ethical. Uh, yes, sir. No, sir. I mean, to me, I mean all that, and all of those things goes into developing character. You mentioned character, Michelle. You mentioned character. Character is the most important thing that a person can have. I'm, I'm not saying character is always going to be good character because you develop bad habit. Your character is and well, oh, that's just be that person. Yeah. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to that person. No. You want to build great character. So honesty, integrity, and ethics that create things of character. And we all want great things. What's your thoughts on that? We got 2 minutes.
Yes, your mic is kind of. I think you got a little technical difficulties with mics. I'm gonna put you backstage, but yeah, character is definitely important. Honesty, integrity, and ethics, and sometimes in order for you to be honest with yourself, someone has to make you accountable for what you're doing to yourself, because lying to yourself is hurting yourself, and you may not see it that way, but it is not being honest with yourself. We got emotions, we have feelings, we have thoughts, we have a brain. Even if people don't agree with how we think about certain things, I mean, as long as it's not crazy or too far out, but you can be honest of how you feel. I mean, you're not here on this earth to just say, yeah, yes, 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 Stepford. That's not why you're here, is to be Stepford. You're here to give your gifts and talents and use the brain that God gave you.
And I think though that is so important that we're able to do that. But honesty, integrity, and ethics, and just being straight up who you are, regardless of what anybody else think. Real quickly, I'm gonna tell you this is what I think. In a lot of ways, I call it the 3 P's. And the P's on. If you're sitting back worrying about and trying to impress somebody, and that you're not, first P is, if they're not paying your bills, why are you trying to impress them? Or why are you trying to do this? Second P is, if they're not putting food on your table, why would you worry about trying to impress somebody that ain't bringing value to you? The third P is, if they're not paying attention, I'm talking about in a loving relationship and building you up to be better, or to be who you are, or who God planted you to be here. Why should you care about impostering? And why would you care about pretending? Why would you care about lying? Why would you care about anything other than just loving yourself? And with that said, we are out of time. But I tell you what, Dr. Michelle Cooley, thank you so much for putting together another absolutely fabulous, sensational show. I'd like to thank our producers, because it's going to be ran on the radio and on all the other platforms. Thanks so much for always taking the time to make sure that the James Cooley Show is great and looking good. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life. Say it like that, Michelle.
It's your life.
Yeah, you got to put a little bit more enthusiasm in there. It's your life. And we'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life. We'll see you then.
Dr. James.